Good day, future leaders, visionaries, and thinkers. So, this is our TM Talks Global Odyssey English version. So, in this episode series, we are embarked on a journey to analyze, research, and finding how the companies, how the industries, they operate and thrive in their real world case studies. Without further ado, let's dive right into our topic today. So, before starting this topic, I would like to ask a simple question from you all. So put your comments below in the comment section. So this is the question. How much control do you have when you go for shopping to buy a product or when you go for some service provider to take some service? Are you consider about the brand? So next time when you go for shopping, ask yourself, are you calling the shots or the brand is pulling the strings? Today we are talking about this amazing concept by using neuroscience, how brands influence our minds and why we are drawn into those brands, products, logos, maybe the jingles that they are using for the marketing. Before we dive into the today's topic, let's have some fun. I will play some jingles that belongs to famous global companies in the world. So let's find out you can guess the brands correctly or not. We often associate brands with the trust and reliability. Whether when you wake up, you have the coffee early in the morning and the phone that you cannot live without. So those brands have an emotional connection with the consumers. But the question is where this trust comes from, where this reliability comes from. The major factor here is the implicit memory in our brains. So whether you are listening to an audio, maybe the brand's jingle, or maybe the color of the logo, because it stores the information like the brand's logo and the color of the logo and the audio clip like the jingle they are using for their marketing process. Those things are stored in our brain. You may not consciously think about these things, but your brain is thinking about it and give you the signal. I heard this before. I seen this before. So it's whispering into your brain. Yes, this brand is familiar for me, so it's safe. Because our brains are like sponges. They are soaking up the information and the details we don't even realize. So when you make a choice, it's often your brain saying and whispering, hey, I know this brand. It must be a safe bet. So let's see how our brain system hijack our dopamine system. So let's talk about dopamine first. This is the feel good chemical in the brain. Brands that create excitement, like luxury brands and tech giants know this secret and exactly how to tap into this. There gives us a sense or maybe a signal for anticipation, sometimes even a thrill, just like a roller coaster ride, and our brain craves more and more. It's not just the product, it's not just the advertising, it's just not the marketing. It's the adrenaline rush, the excitement that comes with it. Brands know this thing, brands know these concepts and the secrets, and they make sure to pull you back in for another round to take it and consume it. In the real world, some of the times we heard some news, bad news of our favorite brands. When these things happen, how our brains work, let's see. Actually, that's what we are calling cognitive dissonance. In here, what happens when brands disappoint us? Some of the scenarios I think, like Apple do for their consumers, or maybe Samsung, or maybe Toyota. But what happens when your favorite brands let you down? Cognitive dissonance steps in that uncomfortable feeling you get when your beliefs and reality doesn't match. Instead of giving up on the brand, most people convince themselves the product was worth it. But instead of throwing in the towel, you convince yourself it's fine. That's your brain trying to ease the discomfort. Think of loyalty programs. Sometimes we are going back not just because we love the product, but because we don't want to lose the points or benefits we have racked up. It's a clear move. Once you're invested in something, even a loyalty program, you are addicted. It's not just the product, it's the fear of missing out. So brands are expert in this because they know how to make capital out of it. Biases like loss aversion, loss or maybe phobia, the fear of losing what we have already invested in. Actually, brands are not just market their products or services anymore. They market our experiences. From tapping into subconscious minds to manipulating our emotional experiences and responses. So it's not always your choices. It's how they make their stories and how they addicted ourselves into the brands, into their product, into their services. It's not just the logo that you can see or the audio that you can listen as the jingle. Next time when you reach your favorite brand, ask yourself, are you really in the driver's seat or the brand is steering you? Before wrap up this episode, I would like to share something that I discovered through this topic in just few words. Products are created or generated in the factories. Services are delivered by the people. But brands, they built in the hearts and minds of the consumers. So let's call it an episode. So stay tuned with TM Talk 7 Global Odyssey for more insights and secrets, much more. Thank you for watching this episode. Goodbye.